In the span of the almost 2 years that I've done these videos, I've had so many awkward encounterments, you guys. Like, I think awkward would be an understatement. Keep in mind that from my knowledge, only like 2 people know that I make these videos, so this may be the reason why I've come across so many awkward encounterments. So I'm gonna tell you guys a few of the recent awkward stories. Oh, by the way. So first month of summer, I did summer school. I usually do that, try to get a few things out of the way. So I took Introduction to Mass Communications class. It's a prereq for my major, so I was like, great, I'll get a little basis of what I'm gonna do before I even get into college. Perfect. So I did the class, and it was a very, very informative class. I'm actually really glad I took it. It went over the basis of mass communication, and it, it taught us a little bit about the ethics of marketing and advertisement. Toward the end of the semester, the professor gave us a written assignment, and I'm all for writing assignments. I love writing, so I was like, yeah, great way to wrap up the mini-mester. The writing assignment was to write about how the internet affects your everyday life and what would you do without the internet. So I was like, score! Talk about what I do for leisure, how I make these videos, how I edit them, blah, blah, blah. So I did the paper. So then came like the following Monday after I turned in the paper. So I woke up late, so as I walked to class, I was so discombobulated, like, oh my god, I was like still half asleep. So I walked into the class, and right when I walked in, on the projector, the professor had YouTube pulled up, and I was like, okay, well, he's probably gonna show us a video. So as I took a seat, he was like, so Sarah, why don't you come over here and type in your YouTube username and show us what you do? And I didn't know what to say, so I was just like, and I told him, I just straight up told him, I was like, are you gonna put me on the spot like that? And then he's like, yeah, if you make these videos, you should want people to see them, blah, blah, blah. And I just felt so uncomfortable, like, I don't wanna, sit here and show like 100 kids like outfit of the day video. Like, come on, that's awkward, okay? So I was just kind of like sitting there like a noob. The entire 2.5 hour class, he kept saying, come show us your videos, come show. He was so persistent. Like, this man would not give me a break. And I think it was because he thought I was lying, like I really didn't make these videos. I just wrote about it to seem like, oh, I am so intact with the internet. So I think he was trying to prove that I was lying to him. So then right when class was dismissed, I went out the door. I was like, I do not want to be in this room alone with him. One of my good friends asked me to his senior prom, so I went with him, and I, got to know his prom group and a few of his close friends. So they're really, really nice people. Great time with them. So fast forward to like a month later, when I uploaded my graduation outfit ideas. So then he calls me and he's like, Sarah, I didn't know you make YouTube videos. And I was so giggly. So I was just like, yeah, how do you know? And he was like, oh yeah, some girls from my school came across your channel and yada yada yada. And it was more funny because he's such a great friend, to where I was just like, oh yeah, like, what do you think about them? Like, it wasn't as uncomfortable, but it was just really funny how they came across the videos. And then he was just like, yeah, I was watching your videos and I saw you put a picture of me in it, and I was like, oh yeah. So it was more funny than awkward. This one was just very, very bizarre. So I was sitting in science class. This was during this past school year, my senior year of high school, and I was talking to 2 of my friends, and there was a third guy who knew him on like first name basis. I didn't really speak to him, and all of a sudden, we're having a conversation, just talking about something I can't even remember. It was just random. And then this boy, who I don't know very well, he just kind of says, oh yeah, by the way, I really like your YouTube videos. And I'm just like, I thought I misheard him. So then he said it again. He's like, yeah, your videos are really cool. And I was just like, oh, okay, like, my YouTube videos, huh? It was just really strange for me because he was a guy, and the fact that a guy came across the videos was like mind-boggling. Like, how did he come across the videos? I started to ask him like, how'd you find the videos, yada yada yada. This is like the awkward part. And he was saying how he was on Xbox Live, and this other guy who goes to our school sent him the link and was like, yeah, check out this girl's video, she goes to our school. It's very awkward how it kind of all went down. After that, me and the guy became really good friends. Every time I'd kind of dress up, he'd be like, oh, he'd joke around, he'd be like, oh, you're gonna make an outfit of the week? Is that why you're dressed up? Yada yada yada. So towards the end of the year, it became more of a joke, so it was kind of funny. This one was more comical than awkward. Car with a few of my relatives, And one of them was just asking me like, oh, so what are your plans for college? Like, what do you do for fun? Kind of trying to just, you know, starting conversation, whatever. So then I was just telling her, you know, what I'm gonna do, what's my plan, and just telling her how I love cinematography, photography, editing. I just love the whole process of that. But I didn't say anything about YouTube. And she turned around and she was like, oh yeah, by the way, just know you're not gonna get anywhere with 150 views. It's kind of like just stood there like, what? It's very comical how she was kind of like, the way she said it was just like very discouraging. At the same time, it was really funny how she brought it up and the way she came about it. She was like, just know you're not gonna get anywhere with 150 views. And I was just like, oh, okay. And it's kind of interesting when people, you know, talk about my YouTube or, you know, come across it, because I'm just like, what? How in the world? Like, this is my little secret niche. But anyways, it's pretty funny. So yeah, those are my stories. Hope you guys enjoyed, and bye!